Hello, my name is Ripley. Welcome to the video.
What's up, Schmucks? So, I have been AFK for the last couple weeks because college is cringe, and I couldn't be fucked to write a script for this because I don't intend for this to be a long video, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Let's talk about this Peter Parker face thing happening with the PS5 remaster of 2017's Spider-Man, which was a PS4 exclusive, now coming to the PS5 as a remaster, but it's only coming if you buy the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS5, or you could get, actually that's a whole other can of worms, I don't feel like opening it. That's the deal though, you buy Spider-Man Miles Morales, the Ultimate Edition, you get a Spider-Man PS4 or Spider-Man 2017 remastered for the PS5. And so there was a whole thing about whether or not this should be a free upgrade, with if people who had bought Spider-Man for the PS4, should they get the free upgrade for the PS5? That was a big debate last week, but this week we got a new debate going on, which not so much a debate as much as just outrage, where Insomniac has decided to change the face model for Peter Parker in game. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the trailer, which is just a scene from the game which shows off the new face, and just so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but just in case, here you go.
Hello? Parker! Just in time to celebrate.
Celebrate? Wait. Where are the arms? Oh, wow. So cool. But how did you...
Intracranial neural network. Neurotransmission speeds under 1 nanosecond. Faster than signals travel inside the brain. Never mind to an external prosthesis. We did it, Peter.
So there you have it. That's the new face. I don't like it. I know it's based off a real person, so it's not to say I don't like that guy's face, but I don't like this face for this version of Peter Parker. It looks like a bad deepfake of Tom Holland. Like, it looks like, I've seen people do it. They've done deepfakes of the original face with Tom Holland, and it's like a little like, oh, look at that, it's MCU Spider-Man, hee hee. But this just looks, I don't like it. It doesn't look very good. So yeah, and Insomniac's reason behind this was that they reportedly, they said it in the blog post, but they wanted a face that was better matched with Yuri Lowenthal's voice, because going forward with this version of Spider-Man in the next generation of video games, this face works better with graphics or something like that. I don't really understand it. It just sounds like a lot of bullshit to me, honestly. And then later on yesterday, at the time of recording at least, the creative director Brian Intihar, I don't know if I said his name right, he tweeted out a statement where he says, "Today's news about the new Peter Parker face model has surprised some of you, and we at Insomniac totally understand your reaction. Heck, it even took me a while to get used to Peter's new look. But as we discussed the franchise's future and moving to the PS5, it quickly became apparent that delivering an even more believable looking character meant finding a better facial match for actor Yuri Lowenthal." So it really sounds like they just wanted a face that matched Yuri Lowenthal's voice more than the guy before, but I don't understand that because it looks fine. The other guy's face looks completely fine. One of my biggest problems with this new face design is that he looks so young. Like I said, he looks like Tom Holland, and Tom Holland has that little baby boy face, which is good. That works for the movie version of Peter Parker, because the one in the movies right now is a high school student, and Tom Holland has that look to him, so it works for that. But in these games, Peter Parker is 24, 25, he's out of college, and he's been Spider-Man for about 8 years. So when you throw in this looking guy, this guy who looks like a teenager, who looks younger than this universe's version of Miles Morales, it doesn't really fit. I'm sure I'll get used to it. I'm sure a lot of people will get used to it, but it just doesn't work for this version of Spider-Man. This isn't the first time in video games where a remaster has completely changed the way a character looks. The first one that comes to mind personally is the 2013 Tomb Raider game, the reboot for the franchise. When they remastered that for next-gen consoles, they completely changed Lara Croft's face. So it's not like this is an unprecedented thing. This has happened before, but this is so drastic. And the difference here is that the PS4 version still holds up. I don't see why they couldn't just take that face and then just make it look better. And if you really wanted a face to match with Yuri Lowenthal's, just use his. If you really felt the need to change it, just use his face. Sony, use some of that Last of Us 2 money and de-age him, and then put that face in the game. It can't be that hard. I'm saying that as someone who has no idea how any of that shit works, so, you know, what do I know? My personal theory as to why they did this is because what I think they did is that they either financially or legally couldn't get the rights to do Tom Holland's face. Either it was too much money and not worth it, or they just couldn't make it work, which I find hard to believe. It's Sony. They kind of, you know, Spider-Man's kind of their thing. But I think what they did then is they searched out for someone who looks enough like Tom Holland so that they can kind of get through a legal loophole where it's like, well, he looks like Tom Holland, but it's not Tom Holland, so technically we're okay. And I think the reason is because they want the game version of Peter to look like the MCU version, which is, you know, I would argue, like, as of now, the most popular version of Spider-Man. He's definitely the most recognizable. Those movies make billions of dollars, so people know that fucking face for Peter Parker, and I think that's what they're trying to do. They want these versions of Peter to look the same, so people recognize that as, oh, that's Peter Parker. But I don't think it's gonna work out that way. I think when people see that, they're gonna go, hey, what happened to the other Peter Parker? Is this a new universe? Oh, it's not. It's the same guy, but he has a completely different face. Gee, what the fuck? I don't really see this as a big deal, in all honesty. I don't think this is as big of a deal as I'm even making it out to be, let alone how other crazy people on the internet are making it out to be. It's the same game. It's the same story. It's the same character. He's just got a different face that makes him look 10 years younger. But who knows? Miles Morales comes out next month, so maybe they'll change it. I doubt it, but yeah, we'll see what happens. They could always patch it though. I'm sure video games work that way, where if they really wanted to, they could just give us like a 10 gigabyte update and completely change the way Peter's face looks. I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on this. I'm not a big fan of the redesign, and by that I mean I hate it, but I also don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens when we have the full game and we can play the game start to finish with that horrible looking face here and there. So yeah, that's the end of this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic day, and that's it. Bye bye.
This concludes the video.